Day 7, we can see it's coming to an end. Summer League, NBL and NBA Summer League action here in Vegas. We're out the front of the Thomas and Mack Centre. We've been planning to get to this location, but it's been pretty windy. And we've had a couple of earlier finishes in terms of some games, but it all finished late tonight with the Timberwolves, so we'll get into it. Liam, Olgan, we've got the full crew here because Liam's taking off tomorrow. He's had a very easy trip. But Liam, let's start with on the floor action. And the first two games, Luke Travers in the opening game for the Cavs got the start, and then DJ Hogue in the next one.
Yeah. Man, it's fun watching Luke Travers out there. Luke Travers looks more like an NBA player on an NBA court than I think an NBL player. He looks more comfortable in that type of setting. He's just, he's an NBA kind of, he's got that kind of length. He's got the playmaking. And I thought he could have got a little bit more involved as the game. Now, we're used to saying that about Luke Travers, but started like a firecracker and then didn't see a heap of the rock from then on. But looked super comfortable out there. And I just wish they had a two-way to be able to throw his way, because I think he would excel if he had that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And he got the start, had a block, and they called a foul. I asked him about it because he looked for a coach's challenge, and the coach didn't want to have any bar of it. But you're right, the two-way thing, I think Olga and I were alluding to a bit earlier, it is definitely a setback for him. I think he'd excelled there. Next game, DJ Hogue, another one who started slow but took his opportunity, and he did DJ Hogue's things that we've come to know and love.
Yeah, he was good, and he was important for Toronto in getting back into a game that they were well and truly out of. And then things just kind of didn't go his way in crunch time. He had an opportunity to win the game, essentially, in regulation. They ran a play for him. He couldn't quite finish. Then in extra time, a few plays didn't go his way. So he would have been a bit unhappy about that. And still, looking pretty good in advance of his season with the Kings.
You have been busy. Can you confirm or deny where you were to watch those two games?
At the crib, getting ready for a meeting. And then tonight, I missed some of the action because I ducked out into the suburbs and watched the number 7 ranked guy from the class of 2024, who is a very exciting talent. What I was keeping track of, though, was some of our guys playing really well. Duop Reith, Rayan Rupert had 12 rebounds. How did those guys look on the floor?
Look, they were great. And in the game with Kai Sotto, we spoke to him. He was up and about, and just the Filipino love for him was enormous. But Duop Reith, the more I've watched him this week, the more he looks like an NBA player. In the limited action that he's had, I spoke to him after and kind of floated out there the buzz that we're hearing around Duop Reith. He had a laugh. He says he's hearing it online or seeing it online. If he's hearing it online, something's going wrong there. And he kind of didn't shut it down, but he kind of did shut it down. I'm not sure. We've tried to figure it out with where Duop Reith fits, Olgan, but he does look great on the floor. I mentioned, obviously, the two-way option for Portland. It's definitely something he'd be open to. But we talk about two ways, and before we talk about it, and Rayan Repair, again, phenomenal on the defensive end, just cleaning up, eating glass for fun. We mentioned two ways with Luke Travers, DJ Hogue a little bit, Duop Reith. The two-way situation this year in Summer League is probably a reason why it's been a bit slower for teams, correct?
Yeah, it's affected every NBL team that's come out here looking to fill import spots. When I spoke to a head coach a few nights ago, and the word was it wasn't just the extra 32 ways that exist, it's the 120 guys who think that they're in contention for those extra 32 ways. And so that is an issue. That is why a lot of guys aren't committing to NBL teams immediately. They're waiting. They think that they're in contention for those, and as the week has gone on, they're noticing that those two ways are being filled. They need to land somewhere, and so that's why we're seeing some NBL signings. And Brisbane they've been one of the teams that they've been out here. Justin Schuller was out here. Stu Lash was out here. They've left, and they've got their guy. They got Chris Smith. I was told this morning that Chris Smith has signed a 2-year deal with the Brisbane Bullets. Their roster is finished. Chris Smith is a 6'4", 2-3 sort of guy, can really shoot it. If you go through his shooting splits, every season he's played professionally. He's 29. He's a 40% plus three-point shooter. So they get that in him, and their roster is finished now. Justin Schuller, his first off-season as a head coach, complete.
Chris Smith, if you do want to Google and get some highlights, there's probably 30. We talk about there's a lot of Chris Smiths out there that hoop. Make sure you get the right one for the Brisbane Bullets. Good reporting. You got anything else for us, Olgan? I know you're going to be with us tomorrow before this man jets off.
Look, the word is that Southeast Melbourne feels close on at least one guy, and I know Tommy Greer said that to you earlier. Feels like the Perth Wildcats are close on an import too. Based on speaking with them and people around them, it feels like they're really close on something. So again, stay tuned. Things, I feel like I say this every time, but the next 24, 48 hours could be crucial. Deals are being finalised, so stay tuned.
That was Tommy Greer's words to me as well. The next couple of days, players are starting to get told whether they're going to get the opportunity for a two-way. The last person I want to touch on tonight, we just finished from here late, Sam Waardenburg, got on the floor. We know he's battling that knee injury. Played a minute and a half, got a couple of free throws. I spoke to him after. He had to call for a sub. He shut it down. It just wasn't going to work, and probably the reason why he's going to get a bit of rest now leading into pre-season. We still got another day here. Olga and I, you're going to jet off?
Are you going to tell us about Kai Sotto?
He
got out there.
I thought I already did. He did. He got out there. He had, firstly, he trucked Duop Reith, which they had a laugh about after. It's a summer league. We don't need fouls like that. But he had a lot of fun, man. He got a dunk. He missed the noop, but he hit a jump shot. Had 3 blocks. He looked like he was up and about. Spoke to him after the game. Make sure you find that interview, because just to see him smiling, spoke very highly of the NBL. And Kai Sotto, they travel. Everyone was here chanting for Kai Sotto. It got loud, and we know the crowd has diminished since Victor Wembanyama left, but now Kai Sotto, they have not gone anywhere, and they got up and about.
Were you hanging with your man Darvin Ham tonight?
That was last night. Darvin Ham and I were chopping it up out the back until Liam came, and his words to me, and you heard at the end, and he was very close to, wanted to get Jock Landale until Houston threw a bit more money at him. And so, yeah, Darvin Ham and I are best friends. That's so far what I've taken out of this trip.
That was a big scoop. It was a big scoop. Darvin Ham saying, you know what, I wanted to make Jock Landale a Laker. And you just slipped it in. I like it.
So between that and he offered me a beer, but I said I've got to do a rap. So I was supposed to go have a beer with him, had to do a rap. I got to take my job first seriously. You're heading home tomorrow. What are we going to see next? You got a couple more things on the horizon?
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be spending most of the day at this thing called the Sport Radar Showdown. So it's AAU teams from the Under Armour circuit, Adidas circuit, NBA Academy, like all-star team from the Academy games, Johnny Furphy, Luke Fennell, these type of guys. I'm going to be there most of the day. And then I'm out of here. I'm catching the flight to Los Angeles and then the flight to Melbourne and back down under.
Well, I hope you have a safe flight, and we've appreciated your time here. We've barely seen you, so this clips up to about 18 minutes of total face-to-face time for us this week. Liam, we appreciate it as always. And Olga, you and I have still got a whole day to cover. And then I guess maybe you and I will get dinner. We'll get Jed, we'll get Howard, we'll get dinner tomorrow.
I hope so. It seems like everyone's leaving. You're leaving. Melbourne United left. I feel like everyone else is slowly making their way out. Justin Schuller got home. It's just us two.
Well, I don't know what day it is, and literally, when you say that, I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, apparently I'm never leaving this place. We've got one more day left, NBL to NBA Summer League. We'll see you tomorrow.